Let's have our calculators out. Which one of you guys left this one here yesterday? Okay.
While you're out and about, you want to come over here and look at my calculators for a second? My screen's blue and I can't fix it.
You're drinking some hydrate.
Oh, appreciate it.
I am cold too.
Okay. Where do we want to start this morning?
You start with question number 3.
3?
26, page 26.
Say it again.
Question number 3 on page 26.
Okay. Well, why don't? Okay. I will most definitely do that. Let's start on 22, 23. Any questions?
Number 7 on 22.
22? Okay, so we'll start there, then I'll get to number 3 there. Okay. What interest rate, compounded daily, is required to make daily payments of $1 grow to $1,200 in 3 years? Round your answer to 2 decimal places. Okay. N-I.
7.
Okay, so we are making daily daily payments of 12 times 365, right?
Yes.
So our N value then, actually, that's one of the things you can do. I didn't mention this before. You could just type this in there. You type that in there, 12 times 365, and then hit enter, it'll do it for you. Okay, so I'm just gonna go to my solver. So 12 times 365, hit enter. I'm just gonna change my interest rate to 0 for a second because that's what I'm actually looking for. My present value is 0. My payments are $1. My future value that wants to grow is to $1,200.
Okay, that's what it is.
So my payments minus 1.
Oh, okay, that's what it is.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. My payments per year is 365, and my compounds I think is also daily, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's what I have there. All right. So let's go through and see what we get here. So I got minus 1. Future value is 1,200. 365. 365. Whoops. Oh, press the wrong button.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
And alpha enter.
And the key says 6.02%.
That's what I got.
I got 6.022. I got
negative 29.
Yeah.
All right. So doing what we were doing there. Okay.
I didn't have -1 for the payment and I got 6.02.
Yes.
You didn't have -1 for your payment? Yeah, let me check that.
Oh. Yeah, mine don't want to do that.
Yeah, mine won't let me do that either.
Okay,
Just
what
comes
if you,
up
hold on a
weird.
second.
Amy, so all you did was just leave 1 is 1.
That's why I have it written down. Did you put
Yeah, no, mine
negative,
says
like a negative for the future value?
Wait.
Amy, where did you put your $1 in? Did you put it as your present value?
No, I have the same as you, I just didn't put a negative down for payment, so.
Try.
Do you have your number as 4,300? Okay, you guys gotta stop talking.
That's the right answer on the
I
board.
have a compliment.
What's that?
Where did you get the 12?
Oh, good
My
call.
bet-
There
my
should have been
bet is
3 here.
Yeah, I was
There we
kind
go.
of wondering. That's
Thank
why I
you.
was wondering.
Right, I was thinking monthly instead of years. Okay, thanks. Good call. Now we do it. And I got 6.01.
Yeah.
99. All right, there's what the mistake
Oh,
was.
sorry.
Okay, so 3 years and 365 payments in those 3 years, right? Okay, good pickup, Paige. All right. Good, awesome.
Yeah, I have 4,380 as well.
Okay, and I don't know how.
I did get it, I was just, I just didn't do the math, and I was like, oh, 1,095 is gonna be 12 times 365, so I
Okay.
didn't.
Okay. All right, any other questions about that guy? Okay. 22 or 23, any other questions off those 2 pages? Paige, go ahead.
The first one, I think I got the right answer, but I think the back of the book is wrong.
Determine the future value of weekly payments, $40 deposited into an account that pays 1.6% interest compounded weekly for 2 years?
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look.
Which one is that page? Number 1 on page 20.
Oh, you just have to subtract your investment and then you get the right answer.
Oh, I just forgot to
Does
subtract.
it ask you for interest?
No, it says future value, but they just have the interest in the answer key. And it asks the exact same thing in number 2, but
Okay.
in number 2 it has the whole thing in the answer key. So
Okay,
that's just-
So it is the answer.
okay, we're good?
Okay, yeah.
All right. Anything else, 22, 23? Okay, let's go to number 3 on page 26. So, what I didn't talk enough about, and I mentioned this earlier or last week, was one of the things that we have to know is we have to know what different types of investments are and how they compare to each other. Okay, and so we're going to at some point here, I'm going to look up some questions that pertain to it that were on the old exam, and they talk about 2 things. The first being liquidity, and we talk more about liquidity when it comes to our loans. We'll talk a little more about it, and then the what's the other one? It's not rate of return. Risk. The risk of your investment. Okay, so each of these has a low, medium, and high. Does anyone know what liquidity is?
Yeah, it's the ability to turn from an asset into cash.
Okay, not necessarily just an asset though, right? But it is, yes. Okay, so liquidity is how quickly you can turn it into cash. Now, when you're doing an investment, an investment is a house. Investment is property. Investment is a stock. Investment is a mutual fund. Investment is a savings bond. And all of them have different abilities to turn into cash. So property and a house, all right, not necessarily very liquid, meaning you can't sell them quickly and turn it into cash. There's a process to it, all right? So they're considered that they have low liquidity, okay? A medium liquidity used to be kind of your stocks and your bonds, used to be kind of a medium liquidity. Or now, today, it's a high liquidity because everybody can do it online. All right, so that's changed kind of as this course has gone on. This course is about 10 years old, and it's changed dramatically now that you can actually do your brokerage or your investments online. You can easily change an investment such as a stock or a bond or a mutual fund into cash fairly quickly because you can sell it, and within probably 24 hours that goes back into your account. All right. Now, something like a guaranteed investment certificate or a Canada savings bond, not very high liquidity because they have terms on it. So anything that has a term on it now becomes very low liquidity, meaning that you can't necessarily cash it out until the end of the term. So a government issued or investment certificate or a Canada savings bond, they generally have a term tied to them, so they're not very easy to turn into cash. So they would be what we call low liquidity. Now, when it comes to risk, you have low, medium, and high risk. Okay, so a low risk is a savings bond or a guaranteed investment certificate. Those are low risk, but they're also low return. Your interest rate on those are very, very minimal. Okay, so if you have put your money in the bank in a savings account, that's still an investment to you. They're still going to give you interest on your money in the savings account. All right, it's not very much, maybe 1.5%, something like that over a year. So it's not a lot. So it's a low return, but it is very low risk as well. Stocks, obviously, high risk. Okay, stocks are high risk. You need to know, you need to know what you're doing. You can lose a lot quickly, you can gain a lot quickly, but you best be on top of it. All right. And again, when this course was set out, it wasn't designed for you to be your own investment broker. All right. It was set out like if you were going to go get a stock, you would go downtown, you'd go to one of the banking institutions or one of the brokerages. All right. Like a Vern Brown or somebody like that. You'd go into his office and you say, okay, here's the money, do something with it. Put some into low, some into medium, some into high. Now, all of you, when you think about this, or if you were even or considering investing, all right, you may start in that range right there, high risk. Okay. Now, the thought process is this: you may not have a lot of money to begin with, but you can get it back over time. Whereas somebody in my age bracket, all right, probably wants to stay now in these two, because it would have to take a lot longer to get that money back. I don't have that kind of time, all right, in terms of how long I'm going to work or where I'm at in my career. So I want to probably keep most of my investments would be in that low, medium risk range. All right. Okay. So liquidity and risk. Liquidity is how easily you can turn an investment into cash. All right. It's an asset necessarily. Okay. Usually. And then risk is how risky is that investment to you. All right. Now, what many people do is they create a portfolio, and their portfolio will contain parts of each of these. They'll have some low risk, they'll have some medium risk, and then they'll have some high risk stuff in their portfolio. And so that's what you were to calculate today, is find out what a portfolio is worth. Somebody has separate investments, so they're going to go with that. So look at question 3. This portfolio was started 15 years ago. What is the current value? Monthly deposits of $100 into an account earning 2.5% interest, compounded monthly. Okay, so we need the current value. It is monthly deposits, so 15 times 12. 2.5% interest, 0 minus 100. Need the future value, so we'll put that as, I'll just leave that blank on my screen. Payments per year, 12, compounded monthly. Okay, so into the calculators with that. If somebody has it, blurt it out.
21,812.35.
Concur?
Yeah.
Future value, that's right. How much it's worth, right? Well, in theory, it's present value, the way the question is designed, because it was 15 years ago it was started. But in terms of calculating it, yes, I'm looking for future value there. Okay, so I have my future value there. All right, the next investment was a $6,000 investment, averaging 5.7% interest compounded annually. So an annual investment, so that's 15 years, 5.7% interest. How much was it? 6,000. 6,000, no payments. Looking for that future value, and compounded yearly. So 1 and 1, correct? Okay. So put that into your calculator. 15, 5.7. Present value negative 6,000. 1 and 1. Future value I get is 13,000. 780.85. Yay, nay? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's my current value then is the sum of these two. So I add those two together to get my sum, right? How would you calculate the interest earned on this particular question?
So once you get your future or your current value,
Okay, so what is my current value with these combined?
35,593.20.
Okay,
You can multiply it.
go ahead, Brock.
Would you add the two interests together and then multiply like how many ever percent it was by that number? 35,593
Yeah.
divided by or top multiplied by 0.079.
Yeah, I know. I understand what you're saying there.
I
Yeah.
don't know if that would work.
No, it's not going to work because you're having different investment amounts for each. But it's not, I like the thought process on that for sure. Yeah, you're combining these two and then you would, yeah,
Would you
Okay.
have to do it separately?
yeah, you do have to do it separately. But I think there's even a simpler way than that. All right, this is how much the future value was here. Okay, now remember the interest earned is the future value minus how much you invested. So if I could calculate how much I invested right here,
18,000.
so that's 18,000 right there, and then I subtract it from there, and that's the interest earned. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so that would be 3,812.35 would be my amount here, and on this guy, I earned 7,780.85 because I only invested 6,000 on this investment here. So the interest earned would be that, subtract the 6,000. Okay. And then I could calculate how much my total interest was earned. Go ahead.
Nothing, alright. When I did the second one, I did 6,000 take away. No, yeah, I'm good.
You could?
Yeah, I just took away the long one. I was like, how am I getting negative?
Okay. All right. Any others? Yeah, go ahead, Amber.
Either like 6 or 7.
Sure.
Or 8.
Let's start with 6.
Yeah, 6
Okay.
and 7 and 8 too. Like, yeah. I think once we do one, we'll get good.
Jackie wants to have 4,000 by the end of June next year so he can go traveling. So what does that 4,000 represent?
Future.
That's my future value. That's what I find necessary, right? Okay. At the beginning of October, he buys a GIC with the earnings from his summer job. It's a 9-month GIC that costs $1,200 and earns 3.6% compounded monthly. He also starts an after-school job at the beginning of October. He can deposit savings into an account, earning 3.25% compounded monthly. How much does Jack need to save from his pay every month? Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to find out how much earned on the 9-month one, that first investment. So let's figure that out first. So I've got NI. Okay, help me fill the numbers in here, please. My N is what?
It's 9 months.
0. Well, but it's just a one-time thing, right?
Wouldn't it be 9? It's like 9 months long.
Well, it's
Every
0.75 a month. Or every year.
That's why I got confused. I didn't know where to go from there.
9 divided by 12.
That's what you do?
Yeah. 'Cause-
Well, I
and it's how
have
many
0.75 and everything.
But then you have to-
That's really weird, my number.
But then you have to multiply it because he adds every month. So then it's 0.75 times 9 months. And he does it.
No.
You're getting way nice.
You're too far ahead. I just need that first box there
Oh.
with the 1,200 GIC. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I got to figure out, is it 9 months or is it 0.7? Like, what's my N value?
9 months.
Yes, it's 9 because you count compound monthly because it's 9 months.
0.7 something.
Okay, if I make a one-time payment, what is my N value? What is it actually?
0.75.
No. If I make one, right? Because N actually represents, when I make a one-time payment, what does N represent? Not number of payments in that case.
Years.
Number of years, right? Number of years, do we all agree? That's how we're putting it in. So therefore, I got 9 divided by 12. Okay? Because it's a one payment thing, but I'm not calculating it over a full year. I'm only doing 9/12 of the year. All right, now let's see if this gets us a right answer. We might have to fiddle with this. Okay, it's a 9-month GIC that costs $1,200, earns 3.6% interest, minus $1,200, no payment. Future value I need, payments per year is 1. What's the compound? Monthly. Okay,
Do that.
so let's get a value there for that future value. What do I see?
Yep, that's all I got there.
For the future or?
1,232.79.
How much?
Checking my math, thank you.
1,200.
I have full faith in you, Kylie.
Just give him a sec.
Okay, now I want you to think about this for a second. Okay? The interest was 3.6%. All right, I got, what was it, 1232.79. So on that investment over 9 months, how much interest did he make?
$32.
$32?
And 79 cents.
Does that make sense? What do you think?
Seems so low, but.
Seems so low, but we're only investing for how long? 9 months, right? We're not even investing for a full year. So that does make sense. And the interest rate isn't very high, right? The interest rate's at about 3.6%. Okay. So this is what I have invested right now. And how much money does he actually need to go on this vacation? He needs $4,000. So our next goal all right, what's my future value for the next guy then?
No, so do you subtract 3279 from 4,000 or 1232?
Well, when you get your investment back after 9 months, are you gonna have $32 or are you gonna have $1,232?
Well, I just didn't know if he was like hoping to like somehow get interest and stuff
1232.
worth 4,000, or if he's gonna use his initial investment as well.
He needs $4,000, right?
Okay.
So I need to include the fact that he invested the $1,200. Okay, so my future value then is 4,000 minus 1232.79. Okay, so what is that?
2,768.
And your minus is what? The 12.
68 point.
67.
What are you minusing the?
67 or 68?
67, sorry.
It's all good.
1232.79.
Oh, I gave you props. You didn't grab your calculator, so that's great. Is that right? Okay, so that's how much he needs then. 2767.21. All right, what's the other information I have here?
You have interest.
Monthly,
Yeah, you know how long it is, you know.
How long is it?
Well,
12, or same thing, right?
No.
Still 9 months, right?
So it starts.
Yeah, it's still 9 months. So
but you times, so you're making 9 payments, so 6.75.
so what?
Well, you do 0.75 is how long you're in for, and you do 9 payments, so you times 0.75 by 9.
No.
Yes, that's what you end. How do you get in then?
It's just 9. Yeah.
But
9
Nine?
payments.
Excuse me.
It's number of payments in a year.
Yeah.
Since it's not
Right,
1 year,
but-
it's just 9
but
payments.
you're not in the.
If I had 12 payments in a year, what would that number be?
Well,
If you're over the whole year.
it's here.
Right. So how many payments is that in 1 year?
Well,
And how many payments am I making though?
9.
9. There's my 9 payments. Still investing 9 times throughout,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Okay, good. That's good. I like it. All right, we have to think these things through. Okay.
Is our present value the 1,232 or whatever?
No, you don't have a present value.
And we're trying to find the PMT.
We are trying to find, so, okay, just let me finish this. So I'm right here, okay? Payments per year, 12, right? 12 payments in a year, he's paying monthly. How much is it compounded?
12 times Or monthly, so.
12, okay. So now, what am I looking for? Well, the present value, go ahead.
3.25 for I.
It says he can deposit savings in an account earning 3.25% compounded monthly. Okay? So my present value is 0. I don't want it. All right? Because I'm not making one payment. I already made my one payment the first time around. Now I'm making regular monthly payments. I need to find out, in order to get to 2,760.21, all right, because that's added on to the 1232.79. How much do I have to invest on my monthly payments then?
304.
304.15 cents.
Okay.
Sorry, question?
Nope.
All right. Okay.
I got negative.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
supposed
you're
to.
supposed
That's a constant.
I don't want to say it out loud, so you're done.
No, I got 16. What?
Okay, what's wrong?
You put 9.
Okay, let's check our numbers.
No, never mind. No, worry about it.
Nothing to see here.
Slow down. Look at your numbers.
But I have everything right. Oh, no. I forgot to put that.
All right, how are we doing? This is basically your atypical question. You get through this and you can do and join it in the investments part of this. That's basically as easy as it, like, that's as hard as it's gonna get. Can you, Grace, go ahead.
I want to get the future value for the other one. I know I can like things off.
Future value in this one?
No. Needs to be added on.
He needs $4,000 to go on this trip, right, Grace?
Okay, there we go.
So he needs a total of 4,000. So if he's already raised 1232.79 from this investment, he has to raise the rest of it to get to 4,000 in this investment. Okay? So this is like, that's probably the most amount of work you would do in a question in the investments part of this. Okay? Now it gets more complicated when we start doing loans and mortgages. So as long as we can hammer this out, we're off to a really good start. Okay? So everybody's following this, understands how I went from one to the other to get to that 4,000, correct? Okay? So 7 and 8, maybe it should be okay. The biggest thing that you're going to have the issue with, as you could tell,
Is gonna be your end.
was what do I do here? So here's how we think about this. If you're making payments, it's telling you how many payments that you're making in that year. That's what it's telling you. All right?
That's just payments per year.
That's payments per year. And if you have multiple years, then you have to times it by the number of years, right? If you're making a one-time payment, it's the number of years you're investing for. So in that case, I was only investing for 9/12 of a year. So that's why my number of payments in that one was 0.75. Fair enough? Okay. All right, so you need to complete 1.6, and then you're into a chapter test. And in fact, the chapter test is more than enough to get you. I'm not sure you need a pre-test for this guy. The chapter test has 27 questions in it,
Yeah, I think.
but there's eight of them are multiple choice to start with. So I think you've got more than enough questions there to keep you going. So let's bank on, like, so today's Tuesday. Yeah, I guess test is gonna have to be Monday. We can't.
They just
You're not
send
here
that
Friday.
to school every day.
Yeah.
We're working on it. We're working on it.
What do you mean?
Soon.
I like sleeping.
Okay, any other questions here that you want to look at today, guys? Any other questions you want to look at today?
Well,
Sure, what do you got?
Sticky notes, because yesterday during the on Teams thing, I had a sticky note, but then I lost it, so I couldn't ask my
Okay.
Did you do 15 on page 15?
Okay, boys. I need you to- 15 on what page?
On 15.
Page 15,
It's
okay.
from
Yep,
a
that's
while
fine.
ago, but
Okay, so what happens there is you subtract 535.61, subtract 517.50. Okay, that gives you your interest then,
Okay.
and then you divide that into the 517.50, and that'll give you your percent.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so
so the interest is earned between the two investments.
Yeah.
So I subtract the two investments,
So 535.61
subtract 517.50,
okay.
and then that'll give you how much interest you earned, and then you divide it by the amount you invested, so 517.50,
Okay, that makes sense.
okay? Okay,
We're gonna